can't believe you've done this. Legendary video. When Jez's character became the BVG, I was like, damn, I can't believe you've done this.
All right, welcome to level 2. So we're live streaming again. So see the hallway in front of you. As you descend to the second level of the Undermountain, you find yourself, and Revy's really taken the lead here. He's sort of like walking ahead.
Lead the way, my good undead.
Revy's got a bit of a pep in his step. He's sort of like seems to be breathing, which is new for him, and has a bit of a determination about him. As you descend from the second level, you find yourself at a junction. Hammers fall against wood in the distance as the halls come alive with a guttural language sprinkled with cuss words from various languages. Do you want to roll history on whether you can identify the languages or not?
Yes, I do.
One of them is actually common. Another one you identify immediately as Dwarvish. You
what are
also...
they saying, Gustav?
they're really just swearing. Flip is way too innocent for any kind of recognition of cussing.
Nice.
Gustav stopped for a second. He's like, I may not know the language, but during my stretch in the pen, oh, I know what those words are.
So you hear a bit of Orcish in there as well. There's dozens of voices packed together in these tight halls, clearly arguing with the sort of zeal you find at a dockside brothel. And that's around this junction here.
Well,
You lead the way, Revy.
Revy's currently lodged in a wall.
Revy turns the corner. So this looks like a side entrance. So there's trash and debris littering the floor. The walls here are adorned with bas reliefs that once depicted dwarves carrying supplies. But the dwarves' faces have been chipped away. They've been replaced with cartoonish goblin heads drawn in charcoal. You can hear further banging noises to the north. Revy continues on. He turns around to the party with sort of increased clarity. He says, I can feel Stormforge here.
Ooh.
You go take your revenge, and we'll make sure nothing stands between you and it.
Do you want me to go straight there, or do you want to finesse it a little bit?
I ain't really one for finesse. If you want finesse, you got to talk to my boy here, Flip.
Do you want me to have a look, Revy?
We can all look together.
We can just be customers.
So up to the north, you can hear a lot of talking and things. As you come around the corner, you see sort of into a greater hall. You can also see up into the hall above. There are goblins everywhere. Ooh. This is a very busy bazaar or marketplace. There are vendors all over the place. There are guards in each of the corners overlooking everything. A huge amount of commerce going on.
Oh, interesting.
Up to the north here, you sort of had a look. Sorry, one moment.
Oh yeah, I'll mute myself.
So the kiddo wanted a rhyming word starting with Y that rhymes with mummy.
Yummy.
That's what I said. She's like, no, but mummy doesn't get eaten.
Okay.
No comment.
Yeah, exactly.
I wasn't gonna say anything. I was thinking
Yeah,
about it, I
same,
didn't say
same.
anything.
So up to the north, you can see that the goblins are erecting a stage on the northern wall of the chamber up there. Yeah, Elena, I'm in the middle of yeah, I can see it. I'm going to have a look at it in depth later. The stage looks like it'll be quite large when it's finished, but it's still in the preliminary stage of assembly. There's a pile of wrecked wooden furniture lying in the northwest corner there. Three.
I slowly approached the marketplace.
All right. In the market hall, the room has this soaring 60-foot high ceiling supported by 2 rows of stone pillars. So these are the stone pillars along here. The middle of the chamber is taken up by 8 vendor stalls. There's 22 goblins there. There's 16 vendors, so there's 2 per stall, and 6 guards standing in pairs near the exits.
We can take them.
I don't. It's gonna be her. She's like, I'd rather not have any bystanders killed in this process. So if we could lure the target.
As the party enters the room, you just hear the chatter of marketplace. So like goblins yelling out in all different languages, advertising their wares. To the northern side of the room, you do notice a throne. It's a granite throne atop a rectangular stone dais.
Throne.
Ignore the jingle jangling. That's just in support of health workers.
What do they need support for?
Coronavirus, I guess.
That's true.
Gustav's gonna make his way through and just have a look around.
As we're going to walk through like a marketplace, I'm actually just going to cast Detect Magic.
You don't detect any magic in this room.
That's cool. I'm going to keep it on for the 10 minutes as we walk around and see if anything catches my attention or anyone sort of magical hiding.
What's
So
the radius?
just try.
30 feet.
Yeah,
I look at some wares and stuff.
You do continue to feel the presence of necrotic magic on Revi.
Magic stems from him, his hate. Damn, they're really rowdy today. The hell?
Catching Gustav's eye. He's gonna go inspect the stone some more.
What kind of vendors are there here? Like, what do they sell?
So the goblin vendors here, they buy and sell many things. There's armor, weapons, shields, adventuring gear, tools, trade goods, food, and drinks.
Ooh. I go to a armor or like weapon armoring, just like a smithing booth, and I look at the wares. I say, "What do you have today?"
What are you
What's
looking
that?
for? We got whatever you need to find.
Oh, I was thinking some sort of armor better than the leather I'm wearing. Am I even wearing? Yeah.
Keep in mind, it's best to have proficiencies with the armor, otherwise the duplicate get negativity things related to spell casting.
I have light armor proficiency. I don't know. And medium armor, apparently. So I was wondering what you had in terms of the armor department.
Well, we've got. Let's see if we do a Google search for 5e medium armor.
Let's see.
Huh, Google,
Chainmail,
wow.
scale mail, and half plate, I believe, is medium armor. Or scale mail the basic of the heavy. I can't remember.
I think scale is the basic of it. Oh no, it's medium. So you've got hide, chain, scale, breastplate, and half plate is all medium armor.
I say, all right. I see you got some chainmail there. How much? How much for a piece or a full set?
Chain shirt is 150 gold dragons.
Hmm. I seem to not have that many funds with the. Well, do you have anything cheaper?
A hide shirt is 30 gold pieces.
You know what, good sir, I'll come back to you later. And then I just quickly leave in embarrassment.
Roll a history check to see if you can remember what the comparative prices were in Waterdeep.
Let's see. Did it roll? Oh.
Didn't roll.
Oh, there we go.
So these goblins are selling stuff that you can get in Waterdeep for about a third of the price.
I still don't have enough funds.
So you could get them 33% cheaper in Waterdeep.
Oh, I see. That's true. I guess I'll have.
If you
I
need
think
hide
I
armor, I happen to have a hide armor you can have.
I think I just want some chainmail.
Yeah, the hide armor that Flip took earlier will fit.
Is it
This was gonna have a closer look at this throne.
Is it better than my leather?
Well, it's a rating class up. So it's
okay.
what's that? Leather is 11 plus the dex modifier. Hide is 12 plus the dex modifier.
Oh, okay.
Does way more.
You know,
Yeah.
I go to Flip and I say, hey, can that be my hide armor? I'll repay you sometime.
Absolutely.
Oh, thank you.
Sorry, I'm eating a pie at the same time that we're talking.
You're good.
Let's see. So if I wear that, then my armor class goes from 11 to 12.
Mm-hmm.
Hell yeah. Finally. I'll get hit like 5% less statistically.
Not with
So
my
gonna have
rolls.
to lean on the throne. See if it's see how comfortable it is.
As you sit down on the throne, the goblins sort of take a bit more notice of you. They don't really do anything, but the guards sort of like shift a little bit uneasily.
Huh. That's
So
I
how
walk up
comfortable
to
is
this big question. You can assume very comfortable.
Oh no, he said granite.
Yeah, it is granite. It's like it's a, as you know, it's like it's a pretty standard like dwarven ruler throne. Very few thrills, but yeah, hard granite. One of the closest goblins to you comes over and says, very quietly, so that the rest of the room can't hear. He says, "What are you doing?" And he says a bit louder so that everyone else can hear. It's like, "Hey, that's Yek's throne. You shouldn't be sitting there."
I do apologize. I just wanted to see how comfortable it is, and I will get my happy ass off of it.
And the goblin says,
Who's,
quieter again. This one over here. It's, well, I thought you looked pretty good on the throne there. Better than Yek
Thank
does.
you. Oh,
Who's Yak?
maybe I should get back on the throne.
Not right now. You're causing a bit of a scene.
Goblin King. Well, who's this Yak fella? I say quietly.
He's the
Please.
Goblin King.
Huh. Seems like
What
you
kind
guys
of-
don't like this Goblin King.
What kind of ruler are we talking about here?
Well, he runs the markets here. We are the what's the name of the fucking tribe?
Huh. It's a weird tribe name.
The Rusts.
Hey,
I literally had it on the screen a second ago. Motherfuckers. Anyway, he calls himself Yek the Tall. He doesn't treat people that steal very well, but we're all starving and we kind of have to steal.
so he doesn't help you get food.
I'm risking I risk myself talking to you now, but
I
my
assure you.
mate
Under-
Glom is being held prisoner for stealing food to help feed us.
Oh, maybe I should sit back on the throne and have a wee bit of a word. Don't worry, your name will not come up. I will not let it be known that I talk to anyone. And with that, Gustav's gonna walk back up the steps and sit back down, sitting up straight, trying to fashion himself as prestigious as possible.
I sit down on the steps in front of him. I say, "Wow, Gustav the Goblin King doesn't have a bad ring to it."
Wow, you're like Jabba the
Tiger
Hutt and Princess Leia.
True.
Wait, I need to get a chain collar.
Alex runs away.
But first things first, we should help Revy. Promise is a promise.
That's true. That's true.
Aye. Alright, Revy. So here's the plan. Once we deal with you and your stuff here, I've got a wee little appointment between my ass and that throne.
Revy looks up and does something that you haven't seen Revy do before. He gives you a big grin. And he says, "You do you. The afterlife with Joaquin awaits me." And he says, "Shall we go take care of the Stormforge?"
We shall. Now, we should try to catch them where they're most vulnerable. Like on a bike trail next to their home. Too soon. Too soon.
Let's go and find where he is. He points sort of down towards this corner here.
I like this. So I or actually maybe Flip should take a peek in this room.
In this
I
room.
stand by the doorway.
So this is a room with. So there's 4 bugbears in this room, 1 in each corner. There's torches flickering in iron brackets on each of this room. There's a handsome man wearing a golden circlet on his brow. He's reclining on a mound of cushions at the north end of the room, eating an apple. 10 goblins lie about on mouldy cushions around him and around the room. Chained to the south wall is a male dwarf clad in leather armor who's been gagged. He has copper orange hair, but his beard's been shaved off. The man in the cushion is handsome as far as humans go. He has golden locks and sharp features. He brandishes a grimy handheld mirror, all the better to admire himself with. As you approach, his guards, the goblins and the bugbears, they hang back. You feel a tension in the room, as though they're ready for violence, but clearly not pining for it.
Mhm. I look around and I say, 1 second, guys, and then go back out and I ask Revi who he wants to, who's the one, who his target is.
The dwarf is Stormforge.
Oh, okay.
He's going to die.
With my hands up, I approach the guy on top very slowly and I say, hello.
I was just gonna walk.
The human looks back at you and says, welcome. This is the Great Bazaar. Please make yourself at home.
My name's Gustav. What do your name be?
My name's Yek. Yek the Tall.
No.
So we
I've
were
heard of you
wondering.
before.
Oh, go ahead, Gustav.
Oh, nothing. I was just letting him know that I've heard his name before, and he is the proprietor of this bazaar. Now, I got a little thing I need to discuss with you about that dwarf over there.
As the dwarf hears you say the dwarf, he lifts his head up and scans the room, and he recoils at the sight of Revi. Ha! Haleth! What are you doing? The dead elf grins, his eyeball dangling by a thin rope of flesh. It's me, Copper. You thought you could cheat me once, but twice. There won't be a third.
Alright, you see, the thing is,
Revi
he's gonna turn.
continues to stalk forward as you talk.
Alright, you see, the thing is our undead friend over there is about to murder that dwarf, and I just want to make sure that there's no issue with that.
Roll a persuasion check.
Ooh, nice.
As Revi stalks forward, all the goblins around are like recoiling in horror, and they're basically too petrified to move. Yek says, "Oh well, yes. Look, well, yes. Well, he is, welcome to him. There is the matter of his stolen goods, which is why he's captive. If you wouldn't be so kind to provide me with some gold, just to replace what he stole, you may do with him what you wish."
Gold.
I say, is 10 gold enough?
Well, it was 24 gold that he stole. As this discussion continues, Revi continues to stalk forward, and the dwarf is like struggling against his chains, calling out for help, pleading for the goblins to help him.
It's gonna be like, all right, here's the
I
gold.
say 24 is a
Yeah.
small price to pay for my friend's revenge.
Yeah.
And
24
Gustav
is a small
turns
price.
out, all right, we all know the dwarf now. Do what you will, Ravi.
Revi arrives at Copper Stormforge. Continues to plead for help as from the goblins, petrified as they're. Revi takes his cold hands and wraps them around Copper's throat. And Copper begins trembling and crying out to his gods for mercy. But his prayer is reduced to a gurgling litany as Haleth Gark embraces him one last time. It's slow and it's loud. And the dwarf's eyes bug out as the Revenant chokes away the last vestige of life and light from Copper Stormforge's eyes. The bones dance beneath Haleth's fingers, cracking like the first thunder of spring. As Copper dies, Revi turns back to the party. Slate shrugs his shoulders and says, "Well then, 2 down, 2 to go."
And we'll be with you right step of the way. Gustav's gonna turn back around to him and be like, thank you for your time. You can dispose of that and do whatever you will with it. I don't care.
Right, yes, well, yes, please go. Nice to meet you. Goodbye.
Here's your dues.
All right. Nice. How many more are left, Revi?
2 more.
Gustav's
Can you
gonna wait
feel
for
them
one.
nearby?
They are on this level.
All right.
So
You away?
Are they this way? Can I check out this door?
he points one to the east and one to the southeast. As you leave, Yek does say, "Well, look, listen. You seem like a reasonably capable group of fellows. What would you say to a job?"
Depending on the job.
What kind of job?
Well, there's a few things that we have going on this level. Why don't you come back in and take a cushion and we'll chat.
Hey, just give me 1 second. I apologize, Revi. He's talking to us still. We gotta go have a chat with him. We'll probably say no and just continue with you, but being pleasant and all. Gustav's gonna find the nicest looking cushion, have a seat on it.
I'll just sit on a cushion too.
All right. Well,
This is
look.
a bit unrelated. Oh, sorry. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
sorry, go for it.
I was gonna post a shit post. Me. My friend just sent me this. Real quick. Okay. Yes, yeah. Listening to your Fox is listening to Yek sent me.
Who's the Chinese guy?
It's Kim Jong-un.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Is he really dead? Was it being
I'm not sure. He was just making moves.
right?
It'd be interesting if he was.
So Yek says, "Well, look, I'm not sure if you know much about what's going on in the Undermountain.
I know a little bit.
Well, we find ourselves we aim to run a decent establishment here. We do find ourselves somewhat sandwiched between a war between the Zentarum and the Xanathar Guild.
I've had run-ins with both of them up on the surface.
Yes, well, there's outposts of both down here as well. The Zentarum have a were-rat gang down here, and the guild also, the Xanathar Guild also have a number of outposts. I was wondering if you might be inclined to destroy one or the other or both.
Sounds a lot like murder for hire, and that's not exactly my thing.
Well, I mean, every task does have a payment, right? So we're wondering, what are you offering?
Well, so we have any number of goods that we can provide a discounted price for you for life.
Look at Gustav.
You want us to go and be your little minions for a discount? Are you fucking kidding me?
Well, we've all got to eat. The mention of food, like all the goblins in the room, they sort of like start to salivate a little bit and look a bit uncomfortable in their cushions.
I was gonna shout, "Hey, if you're hungry, there's a dead dwarf over there."
The bugbears like take a step closer to the dwarf, and Yek puts his hand up.
What's wrong with him eating the dwarf? He's dead. He ain't gonna be using that body no more.
That's we'll deal with that later, but they'll eat when I allow them to eat.
Hold up. When you allow them to eat,
Yes.
now that doesn't sound like a right kind thing to do, dictating when people are allowed to eat and when they ain't.
Well, it's any ruler has to do the things that he has to do to make sure that things run appropriately.
Well, last I checked, the masked lords themselves ain't dictating when the citizens can eat.
But they do control the flow of food. We have limited resources here. We're all in the same boat.
Says the one who's sitting here munching an apple for a snack while the rest of him starved, while the rest of his subjects starve.
You sort of hear in the corner someone go, "Yeah." Yek looks up and goes, "Who was that?" And everyone sort of goes quiet and like pretends nothing happened.
Gustav smacks his shoulder and he's like, "You're talking to me right now."
Wow.
Listen,
Fox
well,
is just stunned by his sense of righteousness.
there's no need for violence right now, but I can assure you that we're quite ready to take you out if need be. Listen,
Well,
there's
the thing is,
the job offer was there. We had a business transaction with that thing down there that's now concluded. If you're not interested in the job offer, then well, we can be done.
oh, you can bet your ass I'm not interested in your pathetic job offer. He spits on the ground in front of the man.
He sort of gives like one of those dramatic like gasps and like puts his hand over his chest and goes, "Oh."
Now, I'm gonna tell you this, and I'm gonna tell you this right now. You start being more fair to your subjects, or me and you are gonna have a real physical problem.
Very well, very well. As you say.
I'll be back, and if things haven't changed, mark my words, you'll regret it.
Yeah,
Gustav's gonna get up.
Flip
Start
says,
to walk out.
yeah.
I try to rile up the goblins. I'm like, yeah, food for the goblins.
The
The needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few.
Yeah,
Strength, numbers, and all that. Why,
Gustav.
say, imagine if your subjects were to turn on you now. You're surrounded. You wouldn't be able to do anything against them.
Yes, well, our business is all done. Thank you very much. Goodbye.
Why, it would be a shame if, like, I don't know, 12 goblins descended on your sorry ass and started eating you alive.
Well, the bugbears are still paid and fed. They'll protect me.
But the thing is, I'm pretty sure the goblins can come up with a better thing for the bugbears. As I doubt you're really paying them that much. Why, I bet I could go around and offer all these bugbears 500 gold apiece to kill you right now. And tell them there's more of that came from.
Bugbears, very subtly, their eyes widen a little bit.
Oh my god. Come on. Are we gonna overthrow?
I could pay, oh, let's see, there's 4 bugbears in here? Yeah, 500 apiece easy. I can afford that. I'm loaded. But, you know, if they don't want to do anything, they just want to sit and obey a coward. I guess I'll take my leave.
Yeah.
The bugbears
Can
do
you
their
tell him, Gustav?
bugbears do everything not to move.
I ain't ready. I had enough of that gas bag piece of shite. Let's go.
Mhm.
Yes, let's go.
You may lead the way.
As you leave, the goblin and sort of go down towards here.
Mhm.
The goblin to the north that had spoken to you previously follows you out the southern door.
Would Gustav notice?
Yeah, he's just sort of like follows you down.
Right. Gustav's gonna stop right here and wait for him to catch up.
Mhm.
I couldn't help but notice I had a wee bit of a shadow.
Well, can we get a little bit further away from the bazaar before we talk?
Yeah, the last thing I'd want you to do is end up on their menu. You just go down, tell me what you're comfortable, don't worry about anything coming out, I'll smite it to hell and back. Go ahead and lead the way, Mr. Goblin.
He sort of takes you down to the end of the hallway here. Says, "Look, I don't know the details myself, but my partner Glom, she knows everything, and she's currently tied up in the bazaar upstairs.
There's an upstairs.
Sorry, not upstairs. In the in the bazaar, just to the north of us.
Detail.
Do you mean literally tied up?
Yes, she's it's sort of like a prison. She's chained to the wall. She hasn't
So
eaten
it's a
for
bizarre king.
she hasn't eaten for 2 days.
I tell you what, would you like us to go and rescue her? I don't care if we end up on that Gasback shit list.
If you could, it would be much appreciated, and I'm sure she can tell you some details about the general layout of what's going on.
Oh, that sounds good. It sounds like it might come in handy where we can locate Revi's business partners. So she's north of here. She through this hallway to the north.
She back up in here. Up here.
Oh, so she's like, oh, okay. All right. You know what? Fuck it. Let's do it now. It'll help for every because we'll get a better layout of the rest of this place.
Mhm.
We'll know what those guys are probably up to because she probably heard something. We'll be able to find them out easier. I'm sure the news of an undead hunting people down is gonna spread faster than we can travel by now. So if we can get some names, we can ask around, find out if they're hiding, and if they are hiding, where they're hiding, and then Revy will get his revenge, and you get your partner back. Everybody will be happy except for that piece of shit, but I don't give a damn.
That sounds great.
Mhm. Yeah, let's go. Lead the way. We'll rescue
I
your
would
partner.
highly recommend that you take your sweet time before going. I don't want them knowing that we were conversing.
Yeah, well, the smart play would be to not be seen talking to you further.
Mhm.
Yeah. So Gustav's gonna march back in the bazaar like he owns it, and he's just gonna head straight north.
I whispered to Gazor, should we rile up the goblins for a riot?
Oh, I've got a plan, but it's after we do the rescue.
All right.
So the area, there's two ways into the area. You can go around sort of like from where the stage is being built up here. There's also another hallway from this way.
Hey, let's go to the stage area, you guys. I like that sound better. Gustav's gonna carry his 10-foot pole and be like, just walk and be like, pardon me, excuse me, construction material coming through.
The goblins just like take no notice of you at all. They're three of them are using stone hammers to pound rusty nails through decrepit wooden planks. The other four are just all clustered in the middle of the room, passing
Mind
around
your
a
head.
scroll in which someone's drawn a crude blueprint of a stage.
Oh, that's a good-looking stage. Whoever threw that. Mind your head. Don't
Isn't
mind
this where we
me.
came from?
Where are you walking, Gustav? You walked straight past.
There you go.
Don't mind me. I had something weird to eat last night. I woke up. I had an advertisement dream, and then I woke up to a hallucination. Don't mind me.
Literally
Someone open the
nobody's
door for me.
literally nobody's paying you any mind.
I know.
That's like the funny part.
4 iron gibbets hang from chains hooked to the 10-foot high ceiling in this small room. The gibbets are empty except for one that holds a wailing goblin, female.
Me, but you wouldn't happen to be in here for stealing now, would you?
Yes, I was.
Then you're the one that we're coming to rescue.
What? Rescue? What do you mean?
Yeah, your partner. He spoke to us, and we're doing a wee bit of a prison break right now.
Oh my god. Well, do you have any food? I haven't eaten for 2 days.
Gustav's going to attempt to undo the chains and give out one of the rations.
The chains, they have a small lock on them. You could also try and bust them open.
He's going to try and just pull them apart by hand.
All right, give us a strength check. You pull on the chains, but you're unable to break the iron that clasps them together.
Keep your head down, and this is going to be loud, and shit may hit the fan. So eat up, and
I could just try and pick the lock.
you ain't one for theatrics, are you? We're on a stage after all. But go ahead, try. That's what he was gonna do.
Jesus.
That
You
look
roll a
is
one, you decapitate.
So yeah, Flip, like in a matter of seconds, like flicks out a little thieves toolkit and has the locks open and the goblin on the floor rubbing her wrists. So, oh, thank you. Well,
Flip will also take his hat off and pull a rat out of it, and then give it to her.
oh, she just like starts gnawing into it like immediately. And it's
he
like,
cooks up meat, don't he?
oh, it's the best thing I've eaten in years. My name's Glum. Who are you?
Pleasure to meet you. Mine's Gustav. This here's Fox, and that's Flip, and this is our undead friend Revy. I would like him to look at him while while you're eating. No offense, Revy, but your eyeball.
Revy gives you another grin, shrugs. Look, Yak tied me up because I was caught stealing food.
What exactly did you steal and what amount? I'm curious, if you don't mind indulging my curiosity.
What was the first part of that?
What did she steal and the amount of what she stole?
Oh, I stole a few apples that I just was so hungry that I had to eat something.
So, you get tied up for 2 days for stealing a few apples.
Yeah,
I don't like that, man. I don't like them at all.
what do you mean, man? He's a goblin.
What?
What?
He was pretty human to me.
I guess he wears that magical circlet on his head that makes him look like a goblin. Looks like a human.
That's a magical circlet.
And I completely apologize, Flip, that you had detect magic on, and I didn't say anything.
Oh.
That's right.
Well,
It
to be
probably ran
fair,
out by then.
The mistake on my part. It wasn't intentional.
though, Flip was not within 30 feet of him for like most of that. So, I think it all comes out in the wash.
Yeah, we'll just
So-
say it ran out before we got to the room. Something like
Gustav is gonna be like, he's gonna pick up Gloom now, and he's gonna be like, "Alright, I'm gonna take you to your partner."
Oh, he wasn't caught as well.
No, he wasn't caught. He's outside. He's outside the bazaar waiting for us.
Oh my goodness, we might be able to escape this place and take a better life.
If I may make a recommendation, I happen to be a partial owner and proprietor of a place called Spirits on Tap in Waterdeep. If you can make your way there, you've got a place to stay and food. You talk to my man Reese, and Gustav is going to take his signet ring and like put some charcoal on it and make a stamp into a piece of paper.
Goblins in Waterdeep.
Yeah, I'd recommend going through the sewer so you're not on the streets. I don't know how likely the watch would like that, but even the sewers are a better place than this, I'll tell you that. We got an entrance in the sewers. Don't mind, we got a band of mercenaries. Just show them my signet and they'll let you on by.
you may not be able to live up there, but we can certainly support you, provide food and occasional shelter in the sewers.
Mhm.
Yeah, and we've got maps and stuff like that. We can, once we're done with this dungeon, we can even smuggle you out of Waterdeep in a wagon to a place of your own.
Wow, that sounds good. All we need is some food and a better life.
That I can assure you'll have. Now, I don't think you'll be allowed outside of the tavern because goblins and Waterdeep don't really mix too well.
Mhm.
But you'll have food and you'll have a nice place to sleep.
Great. Excellent. Well,
Gustav's gonna squat down and motion for her to jump on his back like a piggyback ride.
she does so.
And Gustav's going to be like, "Alright, oh, we're gonna have to go through the middle of the bazaar. Oh no, because I don't know if there's any way to get to your partner from elsewhere, but well, don't worry. Should anything happen, I'll protect you.
She sort of like she clings around your neck, and it almost feels like she's giving you a bit of a hug.
Gustav puts his head back and does like one of those weird backwards hugs.
Truly a Reddit white knight,
Yeah.
Gustav.
Come on, my lady. Tips Fedora.
Um,
And
are you hiding the fact that you've got her on your back at all?
you know what? No. Gustav's gonna
Ooh.
parade her out and dare anyone to try to stop him.
As you walk out with Glom on your back, the goblins who are already disturbed enough at the sight of Revi, just like everyone's just like it's almost like they have locked in syndrome, but their eyes just like slowly scan like your movements as you walk towards the entrance with Glom on your back. Nobody says a thing, but it's just deathly silent, which 5 minutes ago it was a raucous bazaar.
I was gonna walk a little further and keep heading towards the door. And he's out.
Uh,
You-
Glom jumps off your back and gives her partner a giant embrace. Thanks him for getting her out and looking forward to the life that they have together. She turns to the party and says, "Well, what do you need to know about the Undermountain?"
All right. We're not limited on these questions, boys. Sorry, inside thing. We met this weird big guy and then he melted. Don't worry about it. So, we're trying to assist our undead friend here. And what Gustav's gonna name the names of the two other people that Revi's looking for and be like, have you heard of these names before?
They trying to remember the names, but they sound familiar as they may have come through here recently, like in the past few weeks.
I was writing this down.
Oh yeah.
So if I was them and I just, happened, stab my adventuring partner and shot them in a hole, where do you think they'd go?
It's hard to know exactly where they would go, but there's a few different possibilities.
I can give you a little bit of a hint. He senses one east and one southeast, I believe, or was it southwest?
Southeast.
Okay, yeah, one east and one southeast.
Right. Well, that sounds like they could be scrolling. There was a to the east. There's a place called Midna's Lair. That's kind of like an area where one of the Mad Mage's servants claimed to do sort of like weird experiments and things. It's sort of like a weird, like magical area that we don't really go to.
And that does not sound good.
To the southeast, there's so like the old mithril mine there. Um, there's some weird undead things down there.
Huh. Makes me wonder if Revi's enemies aren't undead themselves.
Revi sort of like looks at you and goes, "No, they're alive for now."
So you can tell the difference between if they're undead and they're still alive. Okay, that's good to know.
Oh yes, oh yes. I feel their life essence, and it feels good when it leaves them. at my hands.
Oh, I can relate to that, my friend. I can relate to that. So, also, I have reason to believe that the next level is Skullport. Am I correct on that?
Yes, Skullport's down. One more level.
All right, and I've heard whispers and murmurs. Do you happen to know of a magical tattoo artist that happens to be there?
Well, you can get almost anything in Skullport.
Oh, I'm looking forward to that because, I'd like to get some more ink on me, but it to actually be useful, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, sure.
If you can get almost anything, why do you guys have no food here?
You can get almost anything with money, and we have none.
I'm
Yek
sure because that
takes
bastard up there
everything.
sitting, that bastard up there is, you know, I just paid him enough that he could feed everyone there. Myself, I gave him 24 pieces of gold, and I bet none of them are gonna get feed out of that.
Well, that's people could take him out or not. Like we're leaving. We don't really care.
Yep. And you guys are good on that. Oh, before you go, he's gonna do a little map and show them where they can get out and leave and stuff like that. And he's like, and here is our tavern. Here's the sewer exit. Here's the sewer entrances that you all need to know. And here's my signaling stamp. Show that to anyone at the tavern, and they'll know it's from yours truly.
All
You
right.
guys,
Before you go,
yes, look,
we could probably take care of this evil leader of yours for you, but
I don't
we
think
would
I
need
care
your
about
help.
that anymore.
I care about it. I don't like the way he's treating people.
Oh.
I was gonna take care of that soon enough, but
Before they go, they could put in a good word with the other goblins around here. Maybe we could sway them to our side.
She sort of looks up and down, thinks about it for a minute, and says, "No, I'll take the inn, thank you."
understandable. You guys have had hardships here that no one should have to have. And you go enjoy yourselves a hot meal and some fine alcohol. Oh, the finest.
Their eyes both light up at the sound of alcohol.
And it's all on me.
All right. Glom and her partner, who is unnamed, leave, and I think we'll call it a day there.
Nice. Next session, we will overthrow the Goblin King.
Yek the Tall.
Yeah, that's all. I'm gonna go take a nap.
All right.
Sounds good.
All right, talk to you guys later. Gustav instant muted. Oh my god, stop.